Aloha. Aloha Ke Akua. Aloha Aina. Malama Pono. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. So, we'll call this an experiment. I'm learning how to make videos. There's been a journey. It is the 22nd of October, 2 weeks before the US elections, which feels like some people are wanting civil war. It's a mess. Alright, well, I can feel this, so I'll explain all about this today. And I think I'm making 2 segments. I'm going to try to do 1 take. Alright, so this is headgear. Alright. So, my idea is to make, take this off. This stays on. Basically, I'm wanting to share with the world knowledge. Share mana'o. The word in Hawaiian is mana'o. To share. Akamai means to know. But this is mana'o, which is to share your wisdom, I guess. So my name is Ben, for most people, my whole life. I think the Hawaiians want to call me Ben so they can call me Uncle Ben, Bombay. But for these, I'm going with my legal name, my birth name, which is Benjamin. Curiously, there is a tribe of Benjamin in the Bible. And I've got some Jewish blood. It has come to be that there are a number of spiritual traditions alive with me. And I wish to share about that, spiritual science. I have apparently made some discoveries in physics, at least I think so, that I think are going to close up a lot of the question about physical science and physics. But it's sort of heretical, currently, I believe. It's my experience. The physics community is very complicated. There's a lot of turf. And then there's more. We are in a time of great precipice, a time of great danger. I don't think we've ever been closer to annihilating the planet with nuclear weapons than now. The United States is basically poised at, or actually in the process of something like a civil war. So quick comment on that. What would Jesus do? So on one side you have viciousness and lies and malice, and on the other, heartfulness. Forget about the political parties. And there are people who are cloaking themselves in the religious trappings, who invoke names and terms, demon, whatever, God, Jesus. Just look at what they're actually doing. For me, the themes are personal sovereignty and a sense of collective sovereignty by choice. Is in the background. You can hear, this is a song of resistance. He's not alive with us anymore, but we have his music. Everybody treasures it well. Many. Okay. So, this is basically like introductory remarks. So there's going to be different categories, I think. Physics, spiritual science, Ayurveda, and then what I'm feeling compelled to share about today, which is I'm titling a Surviving 2024 Perspectives from a Targeted Individual. And the reason is because apparently I am a targeted individual. All I know is what I've experienced and what I'm guessing at, so a lot of this is just guesses. And for some reason, even though I've done my yoga, eaten my Wheaties or whatever, there's some anxiety here. What I want to do with my segments, hopefully I remember to do some opening prayer, and I want to just make an offering from some holy book. While I was traveling, I came across this little portable New Testament, which I keep with me now. And I also was inspired to read from my root guru, which is Osho. And this quote is, "You cannot be truthful if you are not courageous. You cannot be loving if you are not courageous. You cannot be trusting if you are not courageous. You cannot enter into reality if you are not courageous. Hence, courage comes first, and everything else follows." And that's basically true. Energy follows awareness. You have to bring your awareness out and into truth. And Osho talked about this, many people do, about a horizontal and a vertical dimension. The horizontal is physical reality. And that would include pretty much everything on the internet, all the information, what we think we know about physical world, physical reality, our physical bodies. And then there's the spiritual dimension, the vertical. And these ideas about putting your energy out and looking for truth, what Buddha said, don't take my word for it, go find your own truth, right? And about a year and a half ago, something happened for me, and I was sharing that. I'll read about that. I've got some notes here I'm going to work with because I want to make sure I cover certain words. When I'm going on the spiritual topics, I'll probably just let Akua come through, as I did about a year and a half ago, and it was beautiful. But today it's a little different. Okay, so what I wanted to do was just, this is old hat stuff, but Psalms 1. Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, or stand in the way of sinners, or sit in the seat of mockers. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. So, here we go. He is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever he does prospers. So I attempt to stay with Akua first and foremost. That's me. That's what I care about. That's what I want to share. I want to invite all to join me with Akua, to be in the Christ consciousness, to live on earth in the kingdom of heaven, because it's our birthright. Not so the wicked. They are like chaff that the wind blows away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous. For the Lord watches over the way of the righteous. In other words, if you are righteous, you are with Akua. but the way of the wicked will perish. So this idea of demons and angels, or evil and good and whatnot, it's not exactly right. Pretty much, if you're on the wrong path, you're just on the wrong path, and you've lost your way, and you are not in the kingdom. Your way is banned from heaven until you choose God. And if you die without having chosen God, then pretty much your life ends, and you've made that choice to not be with divinity. So then you've locked yourself out, basically. The Buddhists say even more. If you're very wicked, you may not even be human next cycle. Is there reincarnation? Maybe if you believe in it. We don't really know. I have thoughts about that, and that's spiritual science. That's not today. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. No matter what. In prison, being murdered. If you're with God, you're with God. Nobody can take that away. Nothing can. He guides me in paths of righteousness, yes, for his name's sake, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. This is my past year and a half, I guess, or year. I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Yes, it does. Surely goodness and love will follow me. Yes, they do. All the days of my life, they will. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And that's true for anybody who's chosen 100% to make Akua number one. So I invite that for you, if you haven't already found your way. And what I did was I would pick just randomly and see if something shows up. Okay. Whoa. All right. Revelations chapter 17. Then one of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls came and said to me, "Come, I will show you the judgment of the great prostitute who is seated on many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed sexual immorality, and with the wine of whose sexual immorality the dwellers on earth have become drunk." Okay, so I think this is about, our modern time, it would be about greed and the pursuit of money and power. And he carried me away in the spirit into a wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was full of blasphemous names, and it had 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and jewels and pearls, holding in her hand a golden cup full of abominations and the impurities of her sexual immorality. And on her forehead was written a name of mystery: Babylon the Great, mother of prostitutes and of earth's abominations. And I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. When I saw her, I marveled greatly. But the angel said to me, "Why do you marvel? I will tell you the mystery of the woman and of the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns that carries her." The beast that you saw was and is not and is about to rise from the bottomless pit and go to destruction. And the dwellers on earth, whose names have not been written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, will marvel to see the beast, because it was and is not and is to come. This calls for a mind with wisdom. And this calls for a mind with wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman is seated. There are also 7 kings, 5 of whom have fallen. One is, the other has not yet come. And when he does come, he must remain only a little while. As for the beast that was and is not, it is an 8th, but it belongs to the 7, and it goes to destruction. Okay, we'll maybe read more later, but this is the actual Bible. A book. So the other thing that's going on is AI can imitate anything now. Voice, definitely. Video, probably. And so the transmissions that happened, however they did happen, I think they did. I was just in my hale, so from when I was calling myself Little Firefly, right? That was before AI kind of blew up into our lives. So at least maybe the audio files I have are authentic, 100%. This is a transmission from my heart to your heart. So you have to evaluate. Is it true for you? And it's going to take more discrimination on by with every passing year. Because this AI, that's another topic, but it presents a grave threat for humanity, as many have sounded the alarm. I have my own thoughts. That's not today. I moved to Hawaii in part for health, for my wife and myself, but also to be part of a canoe, a lifeboat. And I mentioned this a year and a half ago. So either there's going to be some lifeboats that are going to reseed humanity after a forthcoming dark age, or those of us who are doing this are going to inspire everybody to pull the canoe, the big canoe, all in the same direction, right? And right now we have people interfering with their oars and they're clashing, and that's not going to work, folks. The war chests for a presidential race are in the billions of dollars, which is just an enormous amount of wealth that's just being wasted. I'd love to have $1 billion and a team of people to work on healing the earth and the people and providing the basics for all of the children, now and in the future. Because this is the work. We're poisoning the land. We're poisoning the minds. We have to stop it. We have to make goods that are safe and durable. What has been going on is not working. Many people are upset about this. They're choosing the wrong horse because that horse is pulling their strings. But they're being manipulated largely, and there's malice involved. So about a year and a half ago, I presented readings and commentary on the one of the greatest books ever, the Dhammapada. And things started to get a little strange as I got into it. There was hacking, and the phones were weird. And basically I kind of went with it for a while, but there was something weird where the phone was actually on and a microphone was on when it wasn't me. So I stopped. So that project isn't finished. My intent is to finish the project and maybe share listening to audio and add commentary and then complete that work. But it's going to be my material, right? It's me. So before that, there was also weirdness here on the farm. And I think it's fair to say attempts on my life. And that may be partly why there was a supernova event spiritually in March, a year and a half ago. Now, I believe a friend, a Hawaiian activist, working on a very modest level, essentially on sovereignty for her community. I think she may have been martyred. Directly, indirectly, don't know. Doesn't matter really. I don't want to be martyred. So I'm going to attempt naming names or wandering into X-rated territory. But I feel a need to make this video because I've kind of sorted something that I think is important for those of us who are just wanting to live here. So for some people, obviously, my existence, just my existence, is a problem. To them, I offer the bird. The bird. Because I'm alive. I have a right to live. I have a right to exercise my First Amendment and vote and champion the cause of democracy and a good life for the future of humanity. That's what I want. And I do this in service of the divine. That's me. And I have every right to do that. Every right. I stand in the field of righteousness with Akua, as does everybody. They just may not understand what that means. And there's great attempt to cause fear and to oppress, right? This time is important because I think this is when enough people wake up that things change. But it's looking bad, right? It's looking terrible. Don't buy into it. Just, vote. Vote for righteousness with your heart, right? Live righteously. And yeah, if this somehow gets to the internet before the election and you see this, then vote for righteousness. I don't know if this will be allowed on the internet. I've had a lot of trouble with phones and computers. So, to everybody, I reach out with my heart, my words, my voice, my presence, and offer whatever assistance I can for you to join the field of Christ consciousness, which is Akua, it is Aloha, it is known. I've traveled now, and I see that a lot of the indigenous knowledge and ideas match up because this is universal, right? Unconditional love is known universally. It's the human birthright. Ho'oponopono. Aloha. Please forgive me. I love you. A lot of people are apparently quite confused and are working on the side of what we might call evil, the axis of evil, the axis of assholes, right? If it's a rabid dog, take a look. Claiming or wearing a thin veil intended to look holy. There's a lot of professionally created disinformation, and often it contains a bit of actual truth. Or classically, it will be accusing the other side of doing wrong that it is actually doing. Calling the kettle black, I guess they call it, but that's actually a modus operandi, MO. It was the priests connected to the rich and powerful who clamored for the execution of Jesus of Nazareth. The priests. Okay, it is not my intention to be martyred. I hope to share a great deal about what is holy, what is cool, and what is interesting. Bombay. Today I'm going to try to put this into 2 takes. It is the 22nd of October. But today I feel an urgency to share a survival tip. Again, I don't know if this video will be able to get on the internet. I may have lost my last working computer. Don't know. Yesterday morning. There are at least a dozen broken, hacked computers and at least half a dozen routers that are just, they're not reliable, trustworthy, safe, or working at all. Any electronics made in the last few years may be built for mischief. Surveillance at a minimum. At a minimum. I'm going to hope to talk about phones and computers, maybe, in a different video. Again, I feel like I need to walk a fine line. Be with Akua. And what we need is peace on earth, some way. Because the war is going to be, war is very destructive. I have now traveled to different places around the world. Basically, I was pushed out of my home here in Hawaii by a different class of weapon. I don't think the world has had time to process. Now, somebody told me about this, and I didn't really grasp. But then I had personal experience, and then I put things together, more and more. So I now conducted some experiments. And this concludes introductory remarks, October 2024. Aloha Ke Akua. Aloha Aina. Malama Kona. Amene. Inshallah. Jai Yahweh. Hariom. Tatsat.